In this video, I will cover the learning path mitigate threats using the Microsoft Defender XDR and its first module, that is Introduction to Threat Protection with Microsoft Defender XDR. XDR stands for Extended Threat Detection and Response. In this module, I will cover the following topics like understand Microsoft Defender XDR solution by domain, understand Microsoft Defender XDR role in modern security operations centers referred as SOC, understand the security operations model, and understand threat investigation using Microsoft Security Graph API. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe it for future updates and videos. My name is Navneet Kumar and I am a Microsoft certified trainer. Well, without any further ado, let's get started. Here we will talk about the different attack chain models like the MITRE attack framework or Lockheed Martin kill chain. The attack chain model describes the steps or the stages that the attackers take to successfully carry out a cyber attack. It is like a roadmap of how an attack happens from start to finish. Here is the simple breakdown of the typical stages as part of it. Number one is reconnaissance. In this, the information is collected. The attacker gathers the information about the target like the vulnerabilities, system details, or employee data. This is the research phase, you can say. Next phase is weaponizing. After collecting this information, the attacker creates or selects the tools like any malware that is required to exploit the vulnerabilities they have found. After this, the delivery comes. The attacker sends the malicious software or the payload to the target. This could be through the emails, a website, or a USB drive. Next is exploitation. Once the malicious software reaches the target, it takes the advantage of vulnerabilities in the system to gain access. Next phase is installation. In this, the attacker installs the malware on the system. It creates a persistent presence that allows them to control the target computer or the network. Next is command and control, also referred as C2. The attacker establishes a connection to control the infected system remotely. This lets them give the command and steal the data or cause the damage. Next is actions on objectives. This comes under exfiltration or the impact. At this stage, the attacker achieves their goal like stealing the data, damaging the system, or disrupting the operations. By understanding the stages of an attack chain, the businesses and security professionals can better protect their system and spot the attacks in the earlier stage. Now that we know the different stages of an attack, let us talk about this attack chain model with PETE. PETE is actually prepare, enter, traverse, and execute the objectives. These are the simple phases, simple model for business leaders and other non-technical stakeholders to understand. Here we see that there are different attack chain models. We have MITRE attack frameworks that are the detailed models for technical detections that are covered or they cover the assessments and the planning. I will share a link of MITRE attack framework that what different tactics and techniques are used by the attackers to gain access to your network or the systems. This is called TTP, the tactics, techniques, and the procedures. At the MITRE attack website, here you will see the tactics that are used in the enterprises. You will see the category that shows you the tactics. These are many of the tactics with a tactic ID. For an instance, if I talk about the stages, reconnaissance was the first one. In this tactic, we have many techniques. These techniques are like active scanning or scanning IP blocks, vulnerability scanning. For these techniques, there are procedures. These procedures can be these. You will find the link of MITRE attack framework in the description of this video for your reference, wherefrom you can gain more information about the TTPs, the tactics, techniques, and the procedures that are used by the attackers to gain access to your systems. Well, let's get back to the slide deck. And now that we have seen this attack chain model and we have discussed about the stages of this attack chain model, let us talk about defending across the attack chain. How can we defend from the insider or external threats? Microsoft has rebranded its all security products as Defender. You will see several Defender products over here. For an instance, the Defender for Office 365. The Defender for Office 365 is used for protecting the Office 365 applications from phishing emails, open attachments, click a URL. Kind of protections are offered by Defender for Office 365. We have Defender for IoT, the Internet of Things, or the Defender for OT. OT stands for Operational Technologies, and this Defender for IoT provides the coverage for asset discovery and threat management for these IoT and OT resources. This can result in the disruption of physical processes like the factory production, power generation, medical device functionality, and many more operational technologies. So this is the Defender for IoT and OT to protect from such issues. We have Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. The Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, also referred as MDE, it provides the endpoint detection and response, the EDR capability, and this covers the productivity workstations, servers, mobile devices to detect any threats and to respond them. As the EDR term suggests, this is endpoint detection, threat detection, and responding to these threats. We have Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. This is a CASB solution, the Cloud App Security Solution to protect the cloud applications. The MDCA, Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, provides the coverage for software as a service applications from both the attack detection and the data exfiltration perspective. It includes 400 plus generative AI applications that are there. Well, this Defender for Cloud App was formerly known as the MCAS, Microsoft Cloud App Security, which acts as a proxy between the end users and the cloud applications they access. Next is the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. The Defender for Cloud is actually used to protect the cloud resources, the servers running in cloud, and not only in cloud but in on-premises as well. These servers can be your SQL servers, the databases, or the containers, APIs, DevOps or DevSecOps processes. You can protect these cloud resources and the on-premises resources with the help of Defender for Cloud. We have the Security Copilot that we can use to take help as an assistant to query and resolve the issues or summarize the attack and the mitigations or the you can say the summary of that attack to resolve it. If we talk about the different tools that can be used for securing these resources, then for the security operations, we use the Microsoft reference architecture. The Microsoft reference architecture shows that what different tools can be used for protection. Like we have the Legend. The Legend includes the event log based monitoring and the investigation and proactive hunting. In this, you will see the Microsoft Sentinel on top. that is a SIEM and SOAR tool. SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management. It is the combination of SIEM and SAM, the Security Information Management tools, and the Security Event Management tool. It combines both capabilities, and not only that, but to respond to these incidents automatically in a orchestrated manner. So it is also a SOAR tool. It has the security orchestration, automated and remediation capabilities to respond to these incidents automatically. We can use the different tools, third-party tools also from the marketplace, like for deep insight, for the AI, ML, or user experienced behavior analytics, or for SOAR related capabilities. We can use the security and network related tools, the Carbon Black, Symantec, Fortinet, Sophos, Zscaler is there, FireEye, CyberArk, Lookout. These are some of the well-known security tools. F5 is also one of the leading player. Whereas if we talk about the XDR, extended detection, threat detection and response, actually the threat remains silent in this. So here we have the Defender for Cloud that we can use to protect the servers, containers, Azure app services, network traffic, SQL, etc. Whereas the Microsoft Defender XDR includes the Defender for IoT and OT, Defender for Identity. This Defender for Identity was known as Azure ATP formerly. So it is for identity protection to detect the audit logs and protect these identities. Entra ID Protection, a machine learning based service to detect any unusual authentication patterns of users and flag these sign-ins at risk and take control automatically. Defender for Endpoint, EDR capabilities, Defender for Office 365, for Office 365 applications that we use, and Defender for Cloud Apps, the MCAS solution or a CASB solution from Microsoft. These are the cloud services. They do not require the infrastructure setup and saves our time and resources, and let us focus on the incident management and response. Here we have the classic SIEM tools, ArcSight, IBM's QRadar, Splunk. Which SIEM tool do you use in your environment? Do let me know in the comment section, and also the challenges and limitations of those SIEM SOAR tools that you use. Well, let us continue further with the sample security operation model. And in this sample security operation model, we have the prevention. The prevention is first thing, that is the technique that we are using. The goal of the prevention is actually to prevent the security incidents before they happen, and for that we can leverage the threat intelligence, because the threat intelligence can provide the indicators of compromise, the IOC, that we can use these IOCs collected from various sources to detect any malicious code or the malwares or any sort of threat in our network, and we can be prepared for that proactively. The activities that are performed by this or for this prevention, we use the implementation of firewalls like the intrusion prevention systems, IPS, and the anti-malware softwares to block these known threats. We do patch management. We regularly update our softwares and systems to prevent vulnerabilities from being exploited by these attackers. User awareness training is done. Access control is performed. We enforce the strict access policies and the multi-factor authentications to protect our identities. The tools and technologies that are used are like the firewalls, endpoint protection tools are used, like Defender for Endpoint. We can think of using network segmentation by segmenting the network, putting the different security policies on these subnets. Identity and access management tools, IDAM services we use. Identity and access management tools today offer lots of security features, be it privileged identity management or the multi-factor authentication or the verified credentials or the identity protection. Different services are offered by these identity and access management tools these days. Then the next thing is detection. The goal of detection is to identify and detect the security incidents in the real time or as soon as possible. And the activities for this we perform is continuous monitoring of the network traffic, logs, and the activities of the endpoints. We do threat intelligence. We leverage the external threat data to stay informed about these emerging threats. Security information and the event management tools, SIEM tools, that are used to collect and analyze the data from various security devices and systems to detect the suspicious activities across the organization. It's the bird's eye that keeps an eye on the activities within the organization. We do the anomaly detections. We check the user behavior analytics to identify any deviations from the normal activities that might indicate that there is a breach. We use different tools for this, like the SIEM tools. Microsoft Sentinel is very popular cloud service for this. We have Splunk, QRadar, Sumo Logic, and many more. Intrusion detection and systems, IDS systems we use for this detection. Endpoint detection and response, EDR we use. Threat intelligence platforms also are part of it. To respond to these incidents, we use the response part of it, and to respond, the key activities are like incident response, containment for this, eradication, recovery, or communication. We need to notify the relevant stakeholders, can be the internal team members or the customers or the regulators. We need to notify them. Then the tools and technologies used for this response related activity, we can use the SOAR tools. The different incident response automation tools are also there, which provide the orchestration. Forensic tools we can use like NCase or FTK. Backup and restore solutions can be used. Next is the recovery. So recovery is the process to restore your business to the normal operations and learn from these incidents to improve the defense in future. For this, the key activities are system restoration. We restore the systems from backup and rebuild the compromised systems. Impact of the assessment, we check. Root cause analysis are done, the RCAs, to identify how the attack occurred and what weaknesses were exploited by the attackers. Lessons learned from this. Post incident reporting, which is about the documentation of the incident for future reference and compliance requirements. The tools we can use for that are the backup and disaster recovery solutions, root cause analysis tools, post incident reporting platforms we use for this. Next is improvement. The goal of improvement is continually improving the organization's security posture based on the lessons that have been learned. For this, we review the incident response procedures, update the threat intelligence, security testing, security awareness training. We use different tools for this, like for vulnerability scanning, we can use Nessus, OpenVS. Pen testing we can do through Kali Linux or Metasploit. Security awareness platforms are there like KnowB4. Roles in the security operations model we can use. The security operations team has the job of monitoring the security systems, investigating the incidents, and escalating any complex issues. Well, this is about the sample of the security operations model, that what are the different things that take place. Here we talk about the different stages, the prevention, how can we prevent things or prevent the things from being happened, detection of the attacks, responding to these attacks, recovery from these attacks, then the improvements we do finally by documenting these and using the tools to make a document of all these things and doing the root cause analysis, doing the pen testing and the security awareness platforms using the platforms like KnowB4. Well, the next concept is about threat investigation with the Microsoft Security Graph API. The threat investigation with Microsoft Security Graph API involves the use of the Microsoft Graph Security API to collect and analyze the security data from various Microsoft security solutions like the Defender, Sentinel, or Microsoft 365 to investigate the potential threats from it. To work with this, the process starts with data collection. The Graph Security API will aggregate the security alerts, incidents, and other related information from multiple security sources into a unified view. This can include the data from the Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, Defender for Office 365, and Azure Sentinel. In short, the data is collected from various sources and is presented using a unified view. Then we can query the alerts, we can define the alerts, we can use the APIs to retrieve the security alerts and the incidents, and this can be to query the alert API to get detailed information on the detected threats, including the severity, status, or the potential affected assets using those incidents. We can do the incident analysis. Investigators can analyze these incidents in detail by pulling in the relevant data like the attack timelines, affected users, devices, cross-reference. This helps in the threat intelligence. Automated response we can do. So based on the analysis, we can automate the response actions like isolating a compromised endpoint or triggering a remediation workflow. The benefits of using the Security Graph API of Microsoft is unified threat data, customizable queries, integration with the SIEM tools, and the use cases for that can be like a security analyst can use the Graph Security API to fetch alerts related to a specific endpoint, investigate that the timeline of the attack, and then decide to trigger the automated actions on it. Well, this is the Security Graph API. Next, I will take you into a guided demonstration on investigating in Microsoft Sentinel, investigate Microsoft Defender XDR, and use automation.